Level 1. Tunnel Attendant. Before sunrise, you pull a plastic poncho over your thrift hoodie beside the fogged bus window. You clock in at the punch clock, wet socks squeaking inside cheap work shoes. You guide a nervous driver's tire onto the yellow guide rail without touching the rim. At the entry lane, you spray bug remover from the marked bottle across a bumper. A foam curtain swallows a line of cars under spinning brushes and colored washlight. You eat from a crushed sandwich wrapper in the break room, standing above wet chairs. You face a customer beside the silver door scratch, accused before the manager. With both hands open, you swallow the argument under a dripping sleeve cuff. You comp the wash ticket under the awning, the angry driver watching. At the vacuum area, you empty the overflowing bin with floor mats at your shoes. You drag cones back into the entry lane with a torn glove seam splitting open. You hide the broken corner of your cracked phone case beside a newer phone. At the pay lane, you hold a damp paper receipt from a driver demanding the premium wash. You point a luxury SUV forward by inches with the folded side mirror clear of the tunnel post. You load the next car onto the rubber conveyor belt like nothing happened. On payday, you read $2,800 per month wages from the pay envelope. You study the neon wash menu, every upgrade stacked on the moving lane. You drag an orange traffic cone from the spray area toward the payment lane. Level 2. Parking lot washer. You thread a brass hose fitting onto the gas station spigot before permission changes. You fill 2 blue wash buckets in the dark old sedan open behind you. Against the old sedan, you smooth bubbles from the magnetic door sign with your palm. You wipe pollen from an apartment tenant's hood with a microfiber towel. You start the used pressure washer, waterproof boots planted near the hose. Near the garage warning sign, you take the building super's deadline for clearing the ramp. You sell wax with the half-polished hood held between dull paint and shine. 6 cars fill the folding canopy, phones raised along the apartment curb with price questions. With a damp appointment notebook in hand, you text time slots beside the pressure hose. You hang dirty towels over the bathroom door like flags after a battle. At the kitchen table, you count $4,500 per month gross cash into rubber-banded stacks. You tape flyers to apartment mailrooms before sunrise. You tape the Saturday schedule sheet inside the sedan window by arrival time. Before the rush, you find an abandoned wash mitt where the helper should be. You kick a rolling bucket across the parking lot, anger checked before customers see. Beside the sedan, you face 2 customers gripping a keyring for refunds or finished cars. You write deposit rules on the cardboard sign with helpers barred from cash. You pin a marked route map to the wall like a delivery system. Level 3. Mobile Detail Route Owner. Before employees arrive, you roll the wrapped cargo van into the office park. You button the embroidered polo above rain pants. You reveal lockable chemical shelves behind the van doors instead of loose bottles. At the hose reel, you pull the generator cord for pressure before arrivals. You place finished keys in labeled envelopes across a corporate lot. Beside the polished lobby threshold, you answer the property manager's mud concern. You demonstrate a waterless touch-up on the black test hood without swirl marks. You tap the mobile card reader after each add-on, new bookings alive on your phone. A row of fleet trucks steams at sunrise across the industrial yard. You refill the tank from the warehouse tap with crossed arms near the curb. You grip the dead pump housing with 10 dirty vehicles lined under the client's stare. On wet pavement, you open the pump cover at a loosened bolt with shaking hands. You stand beside the client's steel-toe boot for a warning about company judgment. You rig an emergency bypass hose toward the dirtiest vans. At the bank counter, you deposit $9,000 per month, gross cash from fleet stops and weekend details. You press the extractor nozzle into a luxury SUV seat under the garage window. You step across a gated driveway in black rubber boots, clean prints behind you. Near the fleet clipboard, you take the supervisor's lunch deadline for a new row of vans. At night, you tape the laminated maintenance checklist inside the van door. You label spare belts, nozzles, and seals in the divided parts case. Dawn reflects across clean fleet truck windshields as the van returns to the yard. You measure the roll-up door outside a vacant wash bay with a metal tape measure. Level 4. Hand wash bay tenant. You lift the roll-up door chain by hand behind the tire shop. You sweep the painted concrete floor with a green push broom before opening. Above the bay, you hang a metal storefront sign with your business name. You teach a worker the gray clay bar by feel, not speed. You stack keys behind the small front counter above the plastic waiting chairs. At the shared driveway, you mark the oil-stained stripe after the tire shop complaint. 3 cars sit nose to tail under bright shop lights as workers foam, vacuum, clay, and dry. You hang matching staff shirts from a pipe before the morning rush. Under a handheld inspection lamp, you sell ceramic coating with a mirror test. You walk to nearby businesses with fleet cards in your pocket. You lower the used pickup tailgate with tool racks bolted into the bed. At the chemical delivery pallet, you face the unpaid invoice from yesterday. You deposit $18,000 per month gross revenue through the teller drawer tray at the bank. Under the chalk menu board, you rewrite higher ceramic prices. You follow a soapy runoff trail from the bay door toward the shared lot edge. At the storm drain grate, you point for the city inspector after a neighbor complains. You hold both palms out beside the yellow inspection vest between inspector and workers. You face the neighbor beside a raised phone camera filming the wet pavement. Cars spill beyond the bay by closing, stacked faster than human hands can finish. You tape the automatic wash brochure beside the slow human schedule. Level 5. In-bay automatic owner. Before dawn, you turn the equipment room key toward the machine's steady hum. You park a clean, used SUV beside the corner lot. You rattle branded tokens in the tray below the kiosk window. At the payment kiosk screen, you calibrate the top wash package into first position. You refill vending machine spirals with towels, glass cleaner, and air fresheners. You hear the repair tech price a cracked bay arm cover above the day's sales. The automatic bay glows blue and pink at night, cars rolling through mist while vacuums roar. You count the open cash drawer after the site manager runs free washes for friends. You plant both hands on the scratched front counter, missing bills in front of you. Beside the manager's key fob, you confront the site manager over free local washes. You check the red camera light above the vacuum islands near passing traffic. You zip the embroidered jacket before a supplier meeting on site. During traffic waves, you rotate the changeable price sign through 3 tests. You stand in the small office as the accountant says the site does $32,000 per month gross revenue with sloppy cash controls. You mark blue chemical drums with tape. Inside the small office, you lean on the laminate desk amid soap, printer ink, and old concrete. You carry the Coinbox keyring through the property loop of trash cans and soap levels. You hold a tunnel layout sketch toward the street corner traffic flow. Level 6. First Express Tunnel Owner. The First Express Tunnel opens with cars stacked through pay lanes before the red ribbon drops. You park the new work truck beside fresh landscaping under the LED monument sign. You line branded staff uniforms on the manager office rack before the first shift. Inside the tunnel, you check nozzle angles, brush clearance, and dryer timing by eye. You wave cars through 2 pay lanes beneath blinking license plate cameras. You hold the membership flyer during a customer's complaint about the stalled line. On the handheld sales tablet, you rehearse the monthly plan before single washes. Foam cannons fire over a packed Saturday tunnel while dryers blast and vacuum stalls fill. You scan the camera wall monitor across pay lanes, tunnel entrance, vacuum plaza, and exit. Beside the live counter, you watch $95,000 per month gross revenue on the membership display. You signal maintenance from a dry stripe on a hood before bad reviews. At the vacuum plaza, you swap empty towels on the exchange cart for free interior customers. You answer expansion debt doubts beside the leather folder. You loop vacuum hoses over freshly painted islands. At the digital menu board, you price the unlimited plan as the obvious deal. You carry a cooler of water bottles along the queue for trapped lane attendants. Cars wrap around your curb-wrapped entrance lane while the rival's inflatable tube man waves across the street. You watch a competitor raise a giant grand opening banner across the road. You grip the clenched radio handset after one sharp, angry laugh. Beside the manager's clipboard, you answer cheaper wash questions from worried staff. You catch the branded sign reflection across the hood of your new truck at sunset. Across the street, the rival tube man flaps above the competitor site while your car line holds the curb. You mark 3 nearby intersections with grease pencil on the office window. You pin competitor photos beside traffic maps on the board. Level 7. Multi-site membership operator. You drive the late model pickup before sunrise toward the first packed site. 3 branded wash sites appear across different towns with matching arches and full lanes. You send the branded maintenance van from the warehouse with the decal bright on both sides. On labeled parts shelves, you stock belts, sensors, soaps, and spare nozzles by sight. You explain churn numbers on a laminated sheet beside a live pay lane. Through the manager's headset, you test the membership script against regular customer pushback. You ride toward Site 2 with group chat alerts stacked across the phone mount. Traffic spills from the second site's entrance lane toward the grocery center sign. You hang company jackets on wall hooks inside headquarters like an organization. You stand in the headquarters suite as the banker says 3 sites produce $300,000 per month gross revenue. Beside the spare kit, you approve the conveyor repair by matching the broken chain link. You see alarms from 2 sites over a missed family dinner photo notification. You make the costly call at home past roaring vacuum hoses. At the half-open front door, you face the spouse's question about ownership. You compare the sample soap jug with the operations lead's warning about dull foam. From dusk traffic, you view all 3 sites glowing in one brand color. You mark the grocery center parcel beside orange survey flags and tire tracks. You count slowing cars near the parcel with a roadside traffic counter. At Site 3, you time vacuum plaza clearing with a stopwatch. You put a new name above your own on the emergency call sheet. You hand a company jacket to the promoted operations lead. From a hilltop traffic view, 2 glowing tunnels fit inside one sweep. You stay back in the curbside shadow during the operations lead's lane dispute. You give the operations lead the spare site keys near the airport parking shuttle. Level 8. Regional Chain Builder. At lender lunch, you open the white tablecloth loan packet under the banker's rate questions. You close the executive SUV door beside the regional map on the passenger seat. You take the rental car key tag after landing in a new market. Cranes, trench drains, steel arches, and pay lanes frame your yellow hard hat in the half-built tunnel. You cross freshly poured trench drains with mud caked on your dress boot. You point to the pay lane stake where the angle will choke traffic. At the concrete form board, you hear the contractor argue over 2 burned weeks. In the headquarters hallway, you take the flight folder during an operations briefing. You pin the state wall map inside branded headquarters with sites across the state. Traffic backs past the monument sign during a ribbon cutting with giant ceremonial scissors. You present site economics with the investor tour badge on the vacuum plaza. You stack hotel keycards from 3 markets inside your travel bag. At the cracked old wash sign, you compare acquisition against building new. You accept a traffic study requirement at the city planning stamp. In the operations room, you watch $1 million per month gross revenue on the chain counter. Drone footage shows 10 branded sites across highways, shopping centers, and suburban corners. You line the glossy conference table with site renderings, coffee cups, and construction helmets. You assign the regional manager badge to fix weak memberships before the next opening. At midnight, you carry rolled site plans through a hotel elevator. You read the lobby TV headline about debt markets beside delayed approval texts. You mark the Titan term sheet after lenders cite Zips, $654 million in debt, and $1 million cash. In the parking lot, you grip the scuffed hard hat against your chest. You listen to the investor's speakerphone on the hood, capital tied to control. You mark 1 delayed build on the equipment transfer manifest to protect cash. Steel arches, concrete trucks, pay lane islands, and crews move across multiple Dawn construction sites. You slide the purchase option for a competitor's 3-site group into a black travel case. Level 9. Car wash platform owner. You park the chauffeured black SUV at the flagship beside managers lined by the entrance. A drone reveals packed pay lanes, a glowing tunnel, and a vacuum field filled end to end. You adjust the stitched sleeve logo on tailored workwear instead of a loud patch. You carry market binders through the private airport lounge beside your original partner. Across the private equity nameplate, you face a demand to act like a seller. You redirect the marked traffic count sheet toward churn, maintenance reserves, and site-level labor. A chartered plane lifts off toward 3 markets under one brand. You cross the headquarters glass lobby beneath a giant tunnel photo. Across the operations wall map, you walk past weather alerts, member growth, and maintenance calls. You sit across the boardroom speaker puck as the national buyer says the platform produces $8 million per month gross revenue and wants control. You read the original partner place card beside non-disclosure folders at the acquisition dinner. At the underperforming curb, you roll the survey wheel along the entrance angle and vacuum dwell area. Packed tunnels cut from city to city, branded crews moving like one machine. You join an investor call from the road beside a passing monument sign. You clip the company jet charter receipt to a folder of acquisition targets. At the buyout packet, you receive the original partner's exit demand before the next debt cycle. You hold dual offer folders during the national buyer's pressure for control. Through the service corridor exit, you call regional presidents one by one. You compare acquisition offers against operating control at the observation bay glass. Across the buyer's silver pen, you hear the national buyer warn about carrying risk alone. You pass the framed first wash photo from the old parking lot wash. You walk past the campus courtyard fountain, the executive team, and the brand wall. At the flagship foam arch, pay lanes fill and managers direct traffic under your name. You watch the drone pullback reveal rows of tunnels, branded crews, full vacuum plazas, and cars moving through foam under your name.